পাটবনে জগমন লোভার্জা জানাবি তটবনে জগমন লোভার্জা আর দক্ষিণী তাই চাঁদ বামে গদাধার নিকটে অদ্বৈত শ্রীনি वसच्छत्रधार বসি আছে গৌরাচান রত্ন সিংহাসনে আর বসে আরতি করে না ব্রহ্মা আদি দেবগণে আরতি নর হরি আদি করি চামর ঢুলায় নর সঞ্জয় মুকুন্দ বসু ঘোষয় দিগা শঙ্খ বাজে ঘন্টা বাজে বাজে করতাল শঙ্খ মধুরা মৃদঙ্গ বাজে পরমরসাল মধু মধুরা মৃদঙ্গ বাজে পরমরসাল মধুর 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 বাজে মধুর 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 বাজে মধুর শঙ্খ বাজে ঘণ্টা বাজে মধুর 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 বাজে শঙ্খ हर शंका बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे शंका शंका बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे हर शंका बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल गौर हरि बोल जय निताय गौर सुंदर जय निताय गौर सुंदर निताय गौर सुंदर जय निताय गौर सुंदर कि बाबू कोटि चंद्रजिनी वदनयुजालो गला देशे बनमाला करे छल माला गला एव शिवा सुख नारदा प्रेम गद गद शिवा भक्ति विनोद देखे गौरार संपाद कि बजाया ओ जय गौरा चंदे आरती को शोभार जया जानवी तटवने जगमन लोभाजा गौरांगेर रतिक शोभा जग जने माना लोभार गौरांगेर गौरांगेर रतिक शोभा जग जनेर माना लोभार गौरांग गौरांगेर आरतिक शोभा जग जनेर माना लोभार गौरांगेर गौरांगेर आरतिक शोभा जग जन माना लोभा गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल गौर हरि बोल जय निताय गौर सुंदर जय निताय गौर सुंदर निताय गौर सुंदर जय निताय गौर सुंदर श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasade Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Jai Sachinandana, Jai Gaura Hari, Sachinandana, Jai Gaura Hari, Sachinandana. Jai Nitai Gaura Sundar, Jai Nitai Gaura Sundar, Nitai Gaura Sundar, Jai Nitai Gaura Sundar. Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath Swami, Jai Jagannath. Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath Swami, Jai Jagannath. Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra, Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra, Jai Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra, Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra, Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra, Jai Baladev. Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, Jai Subhadra. Jai Jagannath Swami, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, Jai Subhadra, Jai Jagannath. Jai Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava. Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jaya Girivaradhari, Jai Gopi Jana Jashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana, Jashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana, Jamuna Tiravanachari, Jai Kunja Bihari, Jayamuna Tiravanachari, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jayamuna Tiravanachari, Radha Kunja Bihari, Jayamuna Tiravanachari, Nana. जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Jai Nitai Gauranga Jai Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Jai Nitai Gauranga Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hari Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hari Apatita Pavana Gaura Hari Patita Pavana Gaura Hari Bola Nitai Gauranga Jai Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Jai Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hari Har Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hari Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaura Hari Bol Jaya Nitai Gaur Sundar Jaya Nitai Gaur Sundar Nitai Gaur Sundar Jaya Nitai Gaur Sundar Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Jagannatha Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaura Hari Bol Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jai Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jai Gurudev Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Premanande
Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we welcome everyone to Nikuli Nigam Dham, Baltimore, the board of Lord Jagannath Subhadrama and Nitai Gaur and Shri Radha Madhav. Hari Bol. First of all, thank you so much, Pujaris. Their deities look so amazing and beautiful. So loud Hari Bol for them, please. Today's feast will be is cooking with Damodar Kalini Mataji and their team. It's going to be wonderful, wonderful prasadam. So we'll be doing at 6 p.m. for that one. So thank you, Matajis, for doing wonderful prasadam cooking. Hari Bol. We have one sponsor today for the pleasure of their lordships. This couple has sponsored the feast. We pray to Lord Jagannath Baleswar Nitai Gaur Radha Madhav to give them a lot of spiritual happiness, material happiness. Is Ankit Thakkar and Richa Thakkar Mataji. Are they here? Not here? So we can have loud Haribol for them, please. Haribol. Is anyone coming for the first time here? Hare Krishna. What's your name? Faye. Loud Haribol for Faye, please. Hare Krishna. So nice seeing you. Faye, we have a lot of devotees. If you have any questions, anything else, Premdam Prabhu is there and Shyam Bhakti Mataji. You can meet them or Harinam Prabhu. You can have any questions. I hope you feel welcome. This temple is for everyone. We appreciate you coming here. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Hare Krishna. Shyam Prabhu, you have an announcement to make? So this week, we have wonderful program. Actually, from this week onwards, festival is every week, actually. So this week we have Jhulan Yatra starting tomorrow. Tomorrow is also Ekadashi. So we have Swing Festival. We'll be doing tomorrow for 4 days, starting Monday till Thursday. It will culminate in Lord Balram's appearance day. It will be on Thursday with a big, big, wonderful program here for us. So 4 days is there. Then on Saturday, we'll have it's called Gundicha Margin. Just before Janmashtami, we do Maha cleaning of the temple. So you see that devotees have already been working outside, such a painstaking job, cleaning outside. They painted the temple upstairs and inside. Rakesh Prabhu and they did a lot of wonderful services. Now this week we're going to be cleaning kitchens. We're going to clean inside windows, everything on 13th. We'll send a message. If you're free, please come Saturday. That's a day of cleaning. The Gundicha Margin is a wonderful thing. As we clean the dirt from the temple, Lord cleans the dirt from our heart, so we can become better devotees for that one. Then next week after that is Janmashtami, and then on Friday, which is 19th and 20th, is Sri Prabhupada's appearance day. So a lot of wonderful festivals that week. The week after is, I think, our ISKCON Baltimore youth are arranging a beautiful festival. It's called Bhajan program. They call Harinam Chintamani Festival. The common bhajans which we sing, they're going to be explaining, singing, and also giving a little bit of substance for that one. So it'll be wonderful. That will be the 27th, 28th. And the week after is our dearest Srimati Radharani's appearance day. Hari Bol. Come, Shah.
Hari Bol. So talking about Janmashtami, we have a very good news that we have finally got approval from next door school for parking. So again, I will be repeating the same information that I've been telling all the time. Do not park in front of the school, but you can park over there. Other than that, overflow parking we'll have at the high school. We'll be also doing a shuttle from there. This time, we want to thank a very generous donor. He is helping us out, negotiating a very good deal with the bus company. So we got 2 buses this time. And the buses will be shuttling from the temple starting in the evening. So if you are worried about the parking, so there is no issue about parking. Do not stop on the main road because there will be police that day and there is nothing that we can do. Yes, if you have elderly people, you can drop them off right in front of the school area and they can come from there. Shuttles will run from 6 o'clock evening on Janmashtami day up till 1 o'clock midnight, past midnight. So I know that there will be a Maha-Arti at midnight. So there will be ample time. Do not need to fear. There will be ample time. After the Arti, you can take Prasad and then buses will ferry all the people back to, the school location. So school has a lot of parking, so please look out for those. Also, if you would be hearing, there are suspicious people around targeting the temple. So if you see something, please let myself know or Gopal Prabhu know. So we can look for, definitely we'll have police and security guards over here. Again, We are taking the names of devotees for Kalash sponsorship and other areas of sponsorship. If you want to participate in Kalash program, we are there outside, myself, Vidu Prabhu, Adhokshash Prabhu. You can enlist your name and we'll be happy to, engage you in for certain sevas, Kalash, flower, Abhishek, DT dress, whatever is there. So we can give you more information there. So that's all from my side. Thank you. Haribo.
Hare Krishna. So now Sundara Prabhu will be here shortly. What we do every Sunday, we do chanting one round of holy name. So those who are not aware of holy name is the power in Kali Yuga. It says that more than anything else, holy name is the one which empowers you and can take and cross over the ocean of material suffering. Those devotees who don't know, this is a mantra we do. Hare Krishna mantra is right there. So if you don't have the beads, then you can just read the mantra there on that board, and then you can explain to that one. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna. So we welcome our speaker for today, His Grace Sundaran Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Sundaran Prabhuji doesn't need an introduction. He's been with the temple for many, many years. He's seen a disciple, His Holiness Romavad Maharaj. He's a wonderful preacher, always busy in reading Shastra and spreading to everybody. He runs a Srimad Bhagavatam classes, which is like a short 15 minutes where a lot of devotees join and they read Bhagavatam. Then Prabhu gives his interpretation for like 10 minutes. Then he does a couple other classes on Zoom. So if you're interested, you can contact Prabhu to how to get involved. I think the Bhagavatam at 7 a.m. is really wonderful. They're, I think, in the 10th canto right now, right? Or just right before the Janmashtami. So thank you so much, Sundaran Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone. I don't know if it's on. Can you hear me? Or it's good. Okay, perfect. Hare Krishna. Yeah, my obeisance to all the senior devotees and all of you also. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kupasundubhyevacha Pajitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. I'll briefly offer the praise to our Guru Parampara. Thank you so much. I'll briefly offer our prayers to our Guru Parampara and then we'll start. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayamrupa Kadamahyam Dadati Sopadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Ushabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kupasundubhyevacha Paditanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare. Yeah, sure. That's good. Hare Krishna. Oh, better. Okay. Hare Krishna, everyone. So today's topic is about how to start in bhakti, and also maybe it's a little bit lower. Or how to start in bhakti, and also how to grow in bhakti. This topic is very broad, but I chose particularly for the mixed audience today for Sunday feast. Some people may be very, very new. Some people are very used to the Krishna consciousness process also. So I wanted to cover both the audiences. That's the first part of the lecture will be talking about for people who are very relatively new to Krishna consciousness. And then we'll progress to devotees who have been in practicing Krishna consciousness for a long time, for years together. Probably some are initiated, some are second initiated, all those like that also, second aspect of the class. So the first aspect is like this. So, Hare Krishna. Let me ask a question. This is just to gauge. Is there anybody who is not chanting every day today, at least one round, but would like to chant in the future? No? Okay, everybody's chanting. Okay, nice. Hare Krishna. Okay. And everybody else is chanting, that is good news. So I'll briefly share with Prabhu some importance of bhakti, why bhakti, and then how to start in bhakti. And then for others also, rest of the class will be there. So generally, whenever we want to do something, we need to have the motivation to do it. So that means we need to understand the reason behind it. For most of us, we are rational thinking people as a human being. So we want to know why we want to do, what we need to do, like that. So this topic can be broad also, but I will summarize it in a brief way for today. Essentially, we are human beings. We are always seeking love. We want love and we want to love others also. In simple way, we can put it like that. In essence, through that we experience the inner happiness when we love someone and we experience love from someone. But the ultimate happiness we get when we love the Supreme Lord Krishna. In fact, today happens to be Happy Friendship Day. I heard some devotees are sending messages. So our ultimate friend, well-wishing friend is Krishna himself. So in fact, there's a nice pastime, Krishna, how he treated his friend Sudama. Even though position-wise he is very poor, Krishna is very aristocratic, like kingly, but then he didn't let that come in between friendship. So he treated them so nicely. In fact, he was so grateful for whatever Sudama did, that he thought, I cannot reciprocate the way Sudama gave. Sudama gave more than what he has. Basically, he borrowed from his neighbor some chipped rice and brought it for Krishna as offering. That means he's bringing something that he doesn't have in his capacity also. So Krishna was seeing like that. So that means I need to give something that is not in my capacity. But everything I have is from me only. Everything belongs to me. I cannot give anything beyond my capacity. So he was feeling so grateful for Sudama like that. Such a nice friend with no expectations, full of gratitude. That is our Supreme Lord Krishna. So we all feel happy when we engage our relationship with Krishna. So before that, we understand from scriptures that we are a spiritual being, a spirit soul, within this body that we are carrying now. So as a spirit soul, where internal happiness comes when we are relating with Krishna in bhakti. Otherwise, whatever happiness we get will be temporary in this world. So we also see that not only we get happiness, we get suffering also, even though we don't want it, but we all get it. So, but there's a place where Krishna has for us in spiritual world, where we always can be happy. Not only we can be happy, actually blissfully happy. Not only blissful, but the bliss will keep on increasing. So it is eternally increasing bliss. That's what we are looking forward to. Our soul, as a soul, that's what we are hankering for, that inner happiness in relation with Krishna. So towards that, there are different paths that are described in Bhagavad Gita. So different yogas, some of the terms you might have heard, Karma Yoga, Gnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, like that. Again, this is a broad topic, I'm summarizing it. So out of all these paths, Bhakti Yoga path that we are performing is the best. Why is the best? Because it's the easiest to perform and simple to perform, yet it gives a result soon. So whenever we trying to do something in material world also, we want to get the result for sure, guaranteed, and then we want to get it with least amount of effort, right? So this is the Bhakti Yoga is such a path, easy, simple, and faster way to get the result. Why it's so? Because we are all coming from Krishna, who is the original source of everything. So Krishna is supporting Bhakti Yogis in their process. We depend on Krishna's strength, not only on my strength. Because of that, when Krishna is Supreme Lord, he can do anything. So that's why it can be quick, easy, and simple Bhakti Yoga process. So that is the reason we practice Bhakti Yoga. That is the why for Bhakti Yoga. So within the why for Bhakti Yoga, one of the simple practice that we all did just now, is the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. That side, yeah. So that is the best process for this particular age. We call it Kali Yuga, you might know. Yeah, Kali Yuga, this is the best method for perfection. So this chanting. So now there are 3 other things I'll mention along with chanting that will help us to start on Bhakti Yoga. Before those 3 things, the main element of Bhakti process is association with a devotee. devotee who's carrying bhakti in his heart. That's the first element. There's one of the acharyas, Prabhupada comes in a line of acharyas called Brahmamadhya Gaudiya Sampradaya. In that line, there's an acharya called Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He wrote a book called Madhurya Kadamuni. He analyzes, how does bhakti come first of all? Does it come because Krishna arbitrarily chooses, this guy should get bhakti, this guy should not get bhakti, like that? Or I need to do something, then only I'll get bhakti? Like that, he does whole analysis in the first chapter. Then he concludes that bhakti is bestowed causelessly by a devotee. So that's why to start bhakti, for us first thing is to contact a devotee, somehow or other. A devotee can be here, it doesn't matter. Of course, depending upon the purity of devotee, we get more benefit. But reach out to a devotee. That's in a proper sampradaya. Then, with their guidance, we start the basic process of bhakti, including the chanting. That way, we do it at the right level. Because like a medicine dosage the doctor gives, right? If this says 1 teaspoon, if I put 10 teaspoons, doesn't mean that my disease will go away soon. Or if I put half teaspoon, sorry, I'm doctor, I'm telling you for doctors. Yeah, if it's half teaspoon, that doesn't also solve the disease. So devotees know what is the right amount at the right time. So too much, too little. So they will give us a moderate speed so that we can progress in bhakti regularly. So that is the idea. That's why devotee association is first and most important. And devotee association, ideally, we meet at regular times, like once a week or something, initially. That is helpful to have devotee regularly, number one. Then devotees coined a phrase, ABCD, so it is easy to remember. First is devotee association, A for association. B is for books. Our founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada, wrote wonderful books to make this whole Bhakti Yoga philosophy from the Vedas in simple way for our understanding. And it translated in English, Telugu, Tamil, Hindi, so many languages also for us. So we can read those books regularly. So that is another aspect. We'll go into these topics detail also later on. Books regularly. Doesn't need to be too much. It can be some amount regularly while we're doing chanting. C is for chanting. So Bhakti Yoga process is unique and wonderful. Why? Because other process, first let us say you need to do some professional activity, professional job. First you need to learn theory, what to do. And then you need to get practice before somebody. Then only you can become expert. But Bhakti Yoga practice is so wonderful that theory and practice go together. So as we are learning from books how to apply things in our life, how to understand Krishna, how to understand who we are, how to understand this world we are in, how to understand the situations we are in, while we are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. This Hare Krishna Mahamantra chanting purifies our heart so we can understand the philosophical truths that we are reading, and also it helps us to realize these truths in full in our heart. So that is the greatness of Bhakti Yoga process. Not like I will do theory first and then after some time I'll get to practical. So we do practical and theory together. And they both feed each other. Like if I have the proper philosophical understanding of why I'm doing what I'm doing and who is Krishna, how wonderful is he, and how does he relate with devotees, then I feel motivated to chant better. Then when I'm chanting better, my heart getting purified, then I will understand the truths better also. So like that, it is a wonderful process. So we talked about association for A, B for books of Srila Prabhupada, C for chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and D is different ways by different devotees. We'll use the diet for example. Diet means what we eat. Generally we hear the terminology, we are what we eat. So there are so many vegan movements, vegetarianism movements, they're all starting with that coin phrase, we are what we eat. So we want to be less harmful so that we can also be peaceful like that. That's where their philosophy stops. But our Krishna conscious philosophy is, we first recognize that everything in the world, including myself, we are all coming from Krishna, original source. So even the food we are getting is because of Krishna's mercy. So whatever we got from Krishna, in gratitude, we'll offer it to him first and then accept it. So that is the intention behind anything we eat, we first offer to Krishna. Of course, there are some more regulations, how do you offer, there's the details. Basically, we at least vegetarian food we offer to Krishna and we accept it. So this is the diet. This is the basic starting point. So even if we don't catch the last three, even if you pick up the association with devotees, we can start the bhakti. And the moment you start bhakti, Krishna will not leave us. Krishna will make sure we get to success point, more than us wanting to go to success point. So that's the beauty of Krishna conscious process. So that's the basic how to start bhakti: association, reading Srila Prabhupada books, chanting, and diet. We talked about prasadam. We call it prasadam, whatever we offer to Krishna and eat, right? Makes sense, Prabhu? Thank you. Yeah. So that is the first part of the lecture. How do we start bhakti? Of course, each of these can be described in different ways. There are so many nice devotees here. Each of them would have described the whole thing same different ways. But I'm making it in this way. Now, we'll go to the second part of the session, which is, let us say I started bhakti today. Now, how do you grow in bhakti? This topic also broad, because there are different models and different frameworks in which acharyas analyzed. How do we grow in bhakti? How do we measure where we are? What are the different stages of bhakti? Like that, different frameworks are there. So I'm choosing to take one framework today. One of my friend, Vamsivardhan Prabhu, he shared with me a lecture from Radhesham Prabhu, who is a disciple of His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, who is a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. He shared one lecture a couple of days ago. So I heard the lecture. Vamsivardhan Prabhu was inspired to share with our congregation. So I thought I'll share a few of the snippets from that class, primarily. That is one framework I'm taking. This can be taught in different frameworks we can discuss. There's one framework I'm taking for today. So all credits to Radhesham Prabhu. So, however, the topic is very deep, because the context of Radhesham Prabhu lecture was, if somebody got initiated just now, initiation is a mechanism where someone accepts a guru in ISKCON. So, when somebody got initiated freshly, what do they need to do rest of the life? Is there something different, or the same thing they need to do? That was the context of the class. So it's a little bit strong and a little bit deep. So I'll make it little lighter and take some principles from there for this audience here, because we have only about 20 minutes now. So, but the overall framework, Radhesham Prabhu is very thoughtful and a very senior devotee, and he has guided so many souls who started bhakti to grow in bhakti, to grow higher stages in bhakti. So he has very nice things to say, so we'll share some of these. And these are principles from Prabhupada only, nothing brand new, but it's put in a nice framework. So he was talking about broadly 5 topics. I will also keep my phone ready in case I forget any of them, so I can see that also. Basically, he broadly talks about 5 topics. First is, remember I talked about association is important for starting bhakti. So he starts about relationships are very important for us as devotees. Why? This topic itself can go like a seminar, but relationships why important? Remember I started with that we all want to be loved and we want to love others. That's how we experience happiness. So this we work in relationship with Krishna and our Guru, and also with other devotees also. And there are other practitioners who are in the same boat, who are also aiming for the same goal. So while we are here, you probably know many times when we want to achieve one common goal, we go to association. Let us say, I want to play tennis. I will go to a place where people are interested in playing tennis and growing in tennis, like that. So like that, we are in the process of bhakti, where we have association of devotees now like this. So where we have friends who we can make friendships with. These relationships are important for us, because these relationships will help us to understand common problems with each other, to understand how each of us overcome different scenarios in our life, and how each of us is growing, we can take inspiration from them, and that way we can share. So there is a verse in Nectar of Instruction. There's a book written by Rupa Goswami actually, our founder Acharya Prabhupada, translated as Nectar of Instruction. In that 4th verse, there's a verse that describes Preeti Lakshana. How do we engage in relationship with each other among devotees? So he was quoting that verse, Radhesham Prabhu. That's very wonderful, I believe Sri Krishna Prabhu gave a class a couple of months ago on the topic, but I'll summarize it very briefly. Basically, the 6 activities that are recommended for developing relationships nicely among each other. Now, how do you develop nice relationships? Remember, there's a whole congregation of devotees. So each of us may be relatable at a different level for us. So we need to choose like-minded association. For example, there are devotees who are little open-minded and they're open for new friendships. That is one category. Second category is they're just neutral. If you say Hare Krishna, they'll say Hare Krishna. Otherwise, they'll stay quiet. Then there is a category of devotees, don't disturb me, like that. There is another category of devotees who may not come to temple also. They will come only once in a year or something. Different categories of devotees. So you choose the category from the category 1, for example, because there is not a shortage of devotees. So there are devotees, enough devotees who are willing, open-minded, and ready to develop new friendships. So we reach out to them and we develop friendships with them. And again, relationships can be on multiple levels. One level is to upward. The very, very senior devotees like Prabhupada and his disciples, senior devotees, that is one relationship we need to cultivate, all of us. Second relationship is among each other, equal relationship. So it's important for all of us to have some friends. That way, if we have friendships within spiritual community, then we don't look outside the spiritual community for those friendships, for the whatever nourishment we were looking for. That will come through the spiritual community itself. That's another aspect to remember, motivation for us to develop friendships. And then it's also important, when you have relationships, you can grow all the way to the spiritual world just by devotee association. So that means, there are analysis done by Ravindra Swarup Prabhu, who is one of the GBCs in ISKCON, that why did some stalwart devotees fell down? Because they didn't have somebody to share their heart with at the right time. So these are warning signs for us to learn. And then we can develop some nice friendships. So when we have trouble in the heart, we can share with another devotee friend. That way, we can nourish each other. And if we don't know how to help each other, we can go to see a devotee who can help us. That just because we have a friend, he can listen to us. He may not have a solution, but it's a gateway. He can take help from another senior devotee for us. So like that, it's important to have developed relationships. And we're talking about nectar of instruction, the 6 activities, right? So these are very, very simple also. The main activity is Guhyam Akyati Prechati. Like especially a senior devotee, we inquire from them. I heard about this bhakti process. I heard other day about one Prabhu saying, you need to start bhakti like this. But I don't know what is the next step I need to do. How do you do? How much time I need to do? Can you please tell me? Then the senior devotee explains it. This is called Guhyam Akyati Prechati. That means heartfully asking, and then heartfully senior devotee shares with us. We need to inquire like this regularly. That is one aspect. Second aspect is that dadati pratigrinhati. That means giving gifts and receiving gifts. That also develops friendships. This is a broad topic, but I'm summarizing it for today's topic. And then other thing is bhunte bhojete chaiva. That means sharing prasadam. That means offering prasadam to another devotee and receiving prasadam from that devotee. Remember, we talked about ABCD, diet, or whatever offered to Krishna, we offer to another devotee, and then we accept from them whatever they give, like that. So this way is, we can all develop relationships with each other. That is the first principle he was talking about. He calls it Preeti Lakshana. Because in Nectar of Instruction, it says that so, these develop Preeti Lakshana like that with the devotees. So first point clear, right? Developing relationships, Preeti Lakshana. Now, second topic is, how do we spiritually nourish ourselves? We started bhakti, but do we stay always there, or do we want to grow? We all want to grow, because we want to go to a particular goal, to reach Krishna, to serve Krishna, to experience that spiritual bliss that is there in his relationship. So that is the second point, spiritual nourishment. This is again a broad category. I will summarize few points. So he was talking about a 5S model. S for Sangha, S for spirituality, 5S model. This model was developed in Govardhan Eco Village outside Mumbai by a set of devotees under Gauranga Darshan Prabhu, if I remember correctly. So they developed this 5S model. It's very simple. Uh, each of the 5 areas or categories start with S. But that's how it's called 5S model. So first S is um, sadhana. Sadhana is the first S. Sadhana, what does it mean? Sadhana means that our spiritual practices that we're doing personally to nourish ourselves to grow in bhakti. So these can be our daily morning program. Every day morning, what we devotees strive to do is get up early in the morning, as early as we can. Again, it grows. How early we get up, it grows based on how as we grow in bhakti. That's okay. We can start wherever we are. So beauty of bhakti process is that only if you are at this limit, then you can start. No, you can always start wherever we are. That's the beauty of bhakti. So we can be happy with wherever we are starting. So sadhana is like morning, waking up as early as we can, and then first priority is to chant the holy name. Fixed number of rounds every day. Many devotees chant 16 rounds, but some fixed number of rounds, and we grow number of rounds also later on. So chanting is one important activity early morning. Ideally, it is described, we chant in the Brahma Muhurta time. That is very, very early morning, 96 minutes before sunrise. And it ends before 48 minutes before sunrise. There are apps for us to figure out this if you want to do really also. Yeah, that close to the nick time also. Otherwise, early morning we do sadhana. So waking up early, chanting holy name, most important. And then doing some deity worship, like singing Mangalarti, singing song in glorification of a spiritual master, like that. And then Tulsi Puja, worshipping Tulsi, who is a pure devotee of Krishna. So worshipping Tulsi, serving Tulsi, like that. And then reading Srimad Bhagavatam or hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, at least half an hour every day, is very important for devotees. So this is a general morning program. If you want to get a taste for this, you can come on one of the morning times to the temple. You will get a taste for this also. Like Saturday morning or Sunday morning, where you are not busy, packed schedule, you can come and experience it in temple program. So that's the morning sadhana. That's the main activity. So this will help us to get purified and strengthened and immunized, like vaccines we have these days. So then throughout the day, we can go with that spiritual strength. We can continue doing all the things that we need to accomplish, whether it's office work, whether it's taking care of children, whether it's taking care of the home. We can accomplish different things with this strength that we're gathering in the morning. Because this will put us in right consciousness when we start our day with Krishna as the focus. Because even great millionaires, great materially successful people also, they do the most important thing early morning. So many people do exercise. Many take care of things that they need to do for health. So many people do meditation. So our priority, most important priority, we do first thing in the morning. So that is the sadhana portion we talked about. That helps us to get nourished. So next second S is after sadhana, swadhyaya. Swadhyaya means studying spiritual literature. Remember in ABCD I talked about B, reading Srila Prabhupada books. So that is studying Srila Prabhupada books. Notice I use the word studying, not reading. So difference between studying and reading is understanding and trying to understand what other is trying to give and trying to understand how is it relevant for me and what can I apply from this, like that. That is studying Srila Prabhupada books. And within that also, there are various categories how to study, but I'll briefly summarize them also. First thing is called Shravanam, that means hearing. Let me pull up that slide. First thing is hearing. Hearing includes either hearing a class or from a senior devotee or reading from Srila Prabhupada books. That's also hearing, because we're taking direct association from Srila Prabhupada and our acharyas when we're reading Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, like that. So first step is Shravanam or hearing. Then next step is Mananam. That means recollection. That is very important. So many times we feel, oh, this class is wonderful. Then my friend will ask me, what did you learn from the class? I don't remember, but class is very nice. So that is where recollection is important for us. Even after we read a paragraph or one page or hear a class, we take 1 or 2 minutes to summarize within ourselves. We don't need to talk to anybody. Summarize yourself. What is the main thing I got from this class? That is one recollection. Next thing is contemplation. There is a word for this called nididhyasanam. Contemplation. Contemplation means only if I recollect what I heard or what I read, I can further think about it, right? So contemplation is, what does this really mean? Did I understand the meaning? So how does it apply to me or this world that I'm in or others in my life? How does it apply? And then how can I apply this in my life? That is the contemplation portion. So we talked about reading or hearing, then recollection, then contemplation we talked about. So now other thing is patanam. Reciting is also given importance in Swadhyaya. Reciting means daily reciting some verses from Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam like that. That's also given importance. So let us say while you're reading or hearing, you like one particular verse that the speaker quoted or the other quoted in the purport. You like that verse. You want to learn it. One of the benefit of learning Sanskrit verses is they're very powerful and packed. They're easy to remember. So you can remember the whole paragraph by just learning one verse. Then you have the whole meaning. For example, we're reciting Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kupasandubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. If you know the meaning behind it, this is very packed. Devotees are like desire trees. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kupasandubhyevacha. They are very compassionate. Vaishnavibhyo Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kupasandubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo. They are very, very merciful on all the souls. Then Vaishnavibhyo namo. I offer my obeisances to such Vaishnavas. So we feel grateful even when we're reciting also. So Sanskrit verses are powerful like that. So that helps us also. That's the reason we need to recite. Not that I want to show off, okay, I know this verse, I know this verse. That's not the purpose of reciting verses. So that is about patanam. Then kirtanam. It's also important what we learnt, we share with someone because that helps us to remember. For example, I heard a class, then I share with my friend. Remember, we develop relationships. One of the things we have common in between relationships is we have Krishna in the common between us. We share. Oh, you know what? Like I briefly shared, right? Vamsivardhan Prabhu heard a class from Radhesham Prabhu. He shared with me, Prabhu, see, this is a wonderful class. I think it helps all of our devotees. So like that we share with each other. Then I ask him, okay, class is nice. Can you tell me what did you like in the class? So he will tell me 1 or 2 points. Then I'll feel inspired really to listen to the class. Right? Otherwise, WhatsApp shares anybody can do. But sharing of the heart is, what did we get from the class? What do we like from the class? We share with the others. Then that way, we support each other and then we grow also. That's the supporting Kirtanam. In fact, in Srimad Bhagavatam first canto, one of the purports, I forgot which purport, Prabhupada writes, Srimad Bhagavatam means, reading Srimad Bhagavatam means not only reading, but speaking also, he says. Not only hearing, but also speaking. So, why? There are many things we can say about it. But essentially, when you have to speak or when you have to write somebody about what you got from that, from your reading or hearing, you actually put more thought into it. And it sinks into your heart also. So then, when you're sharing, you understand, oh, I thought I understood the point clearly that time. But I don't understand this particular point now when I'm sharing. So now it helps us to absorb, or go back when we hear one more time. And next time, we want to improve our quality of hearing. Because see, I'm spending 1 hour time to hear a class. But then, if I'm not hearing properly, then I'm wasting my time. So I'll go back and hear nicely again, like that. So there's a kirtanam aspect. So we talked about spiritual nourishment. Within that, sadhana, first aspect we talked about, that is what we do in the daily morning program in terms of chanting, hearing, reading, and then deity worship like that. And then we talked about Swadhyaya, which is studying scriptures by hearing or reading scriptures and doing all the things we talked about. Next, the third S is Seva, service. I have only 6 more minutes, so I'll summarize very briefly. Seva is service. Why is service important for us? I can rather chant all day, I can hear all day. First of all, I cannot do that all day chanting. I cannot do all day hearing, first of all. Second thing, only when we're doing service, we can apply what we are learning while hearing and reading in practice, in relationship with others. So, by serving, we're getting mercy of other devotees. We're getting mercy of Krishna. We're getting mercy of Lord Chaitanya. We're getting mercy of spiritual master. So, by doing service. So, in fact, whatever we read here, when we do service, it becomes realization. So, if you really want it to be in your heart, and if you want to realize, seva is a very important aspect we should not neglect. So, we talked about sadhana, swadhyaya, and seva, service. So, now, fourth thing is sangha. We already talked about sangha or association briefly. So, that's also very important. One of the key things I want to highlight here is having a mentor. Each of us need to choose one mentor who is a role model for us. So that way, we can go to them to understand the finer aspects of Krishna consciousness that always is rubbing in our heart. Why is this like this? Somebody said like this, somebody said like this. Bhagavad Gita, here it says like this, here it says like this. They are contradicting with each other. So that rubbing in the heart can be cleaned off when we have a mentor. And remember, I also told mentor many other benefits. Like they can help us to understand things maturely in a balanced way. Because scriptures more often give extreme examples also to make a point, solid point. So that's not wrong about scriptures. That's not something wrong, fault with the scriptures. But the Acharya's Guru, Sadhu, Shastra combination helps us to understand how to apply that point in our life in a mature way, in a balanced way. That is one of the functions of a mentor also for us. Remember I told you about the dosage also? So like that. So mentor, another angle about mentor is, he will see, oh, I'm always worried about something or the other. So then my mentor will encourage me. No, you're doing great. You just do this one. You're doing great like that. But let us say I'm always proud. Oh, I'm actually pure devotee. There's nobody like me in this world. If I'm feeling like that, mentor will say, no. Look at this, look at him. So he will balance it out to help us to practice bhakti in a happy way, in a simple way. So that is another benefit of having a mentor for us. And we talked about having association of senior devotees we learn from, and then equal devotees also, friendships like that we talked about. That is the Sangha portion. And then last portion is Sadachara, behavior and dealings. This is also very important for us. Because we are living in this world, so we need to learn how to relate with each other, whether it's devotees, whether it's in office work or outside world. How do you see other religions in relation to my religion? Is it my religion is the best, so everything is trash? No. There's a reason everything else exists in the world. How do we see them properly? How do we see other practitioners properly? How do we see within the ISKCON temple, there are devotees at different levels? How do we relate with them? How do we develop respect for them? How do we treat each other properly? These are very important things for us to learn. This training, we can take training and guidance from mentor to grow in these areas for interpersonal relationships. Even for within family, sometimes we don't know how to deal with each other. So we can learn from mentors that we have. Mentors can be spiritual mentors. Sometimes we need mentor in other areas also. Like for example, somebody is good at fitness. We need a mentor in that area. Somebody is good at finances. We need a mentor for finances like that. But here I'm focusing the spiritual aspect in this case. So that's the 5 spiritual nourishment he was talking about. So I will briefly summarize the other 3 points also and then open up for any comments or questions from you all. So we talked about mentors. That is, mentors will also help us to develop respect for ourselves, not only for others, and also we can get encouragement from mentors. So like that, and balancing things we talked about. 4th aspect is taking training. We can take training for the skills that we need for doing our particular service in the temple. So we can take training so that way we can grow in each of the area. This can be interpersonal skills like we talked about, learning particular instrument or kirtan, or doing deity worship, or cleaning the temple, anything like that. So 5th aspect is keeping communication open. This is very, very important. Devotees should always be engaged with other devotees, whether whether it is whether it is through coming to Sunday feast like this, or smaller gatherings like Bhakti Vrusha that we have regularly once a week like that. Thank you. Sri Sri Radha Madhav ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Sundar ki jai, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra ki jai. So, communication is a broader topic. One topic is making sure we are not isolated. That means we are connected to our community, our devotional community. Like our temple has a WhatsApp group where official communications go on. Keep it communication open so you know what is happening. When is one great saintly personality is coming, we can take association. When is such festival happening, so we can be part of the celebration and be happy, joyful. Like that is one level of communication. Second level of communication is keeping in touch with the devotees and the friends we talked about. That communication also important for us. So those are few areas we talked about. Each of these topics can be grown into very, very deeply. But I want to give you some basics, what I learned from Radheshyam Prabhu in this particular framework. It's a nice framework. Hope it had some value to all of you. If you have some comments or questions, please share. We'll take a few minutes and then after that we can end. We can all go for prasadam. Any comments or questions? Hare Krishna Prabhu.
How do you go about finding the mentor? You talked about the importance, but like how can you go about finding?
Very nice question. Your name, Prabhu? Sneh? Sneh Sonaya. Oh, nice to meet you. So it's a nice question actually. The way to find mentor, it's a broad topic, but I will also give practically what to do also. So key thing is find within the community we are in, we find a role model, somebody who we feel inspired by. Oh, he seems to be nice. What he shared makes sense, or how he conducts himself makes sense, or how he practices bhakti makes sense. Some inspiration directly from personal experience by seeing them, or we heard from somebody, oh, this devotee is wonderful in this way, this devotee is wonderful in this way. So we check out the devotee, we develop slight relationship with the devotee. Because each of us are a different nature, each of us click with a different personality also. So we see, for this devotee he may be wonderful, but for me he may not be wonderful, because my nature and nature rubs off. So I can still respect them, but then I can find another devotee. Like that. So basically finding an inspiring example, somehow or other, number one. And number two, trying to develop some relationship to see, does it make sense? Do we click? What he's saying, can I follow? Does he have some mature understanding, balanced understandings? Does he have a mentor himself? That is important. He's not saying, I learned from Krishna to yesterday morning, yesterday night, I am telling you today. Doesn't help. You should have a mentor himself. And then such a person you can try and then seek out. For example, in our congregation, there are many senior devotees. You can develop some relationships initially. And then we can help you find a mentor also. Yeah? Make sense? Nice to meet you. Any other comments or questions? Okay. Yeah, thank you so much for your time. Prasadam is downstairs. Please help yourself. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna everyone. Thank you.
वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुता पदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च भज श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द भज श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद भज श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद भज श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत
संसारदावानलिरलोका त्रणाय कारुण्यघनाघनत्यं
संसारदावानललिरालोका तनाय कारुणागनागनात्यं
संसारदावानलिरलोका त्रणाय कारुण्यघनाघनत्यं
संसारदावानललिरालोका तनाय कारुणागनागनात्यं
प्राप्त सकल्यान गुणार्णवस्य वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दम्
प्राप्तस्य काल्यानागुणानभास्य वन्दे गुरुश्रीचरणरविन्दम्
प्राप्त सकल्यान गुणार्णवस्य वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दम्
प्राप्तस्य काल्यानागुणानभास्य वन्दे गुरुश्रीचरणरविन्दम्
महाप्रभो कीर्तननितगीत वादित्रमाद्यन्मनसोरसेन
महाप्रभो कीर्तननितगीता वादित्रमाद्यं मनसोरसेन
महाप्रभो कीर्तननितगीत वादित्रमाद्यन्मनसोरसेन
महाप्रभो कीर्तननितगीता वादित्रमाद्यं मनसोरसेन
रोमाञ्चकम्पासु तरङ्गभाजो वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दम्
मञ्चकम्भासुतरङ्गभाजो वन्दे गुरुश्रीचरणरविन्दम्
रोमाञ्चकम्पासु तरङ्गभाजो वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दम् विग्रहाराधननितनादा सिंहारतं मन्दिरमार्जनादो
विग्रहाराधननितनादा सिंहारतं मन्दिरमार्जनादो
विग्रहाराधननितनादा सिंहारतं मन्दिरमार्जनादो
विग्रहाराधननितनादा सिंहारतं मन्दिरमार्जनादो
युक्तस्य भक्तांश निजं यतोऽपि वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दम् युक्तस्य भक्तांश
वन्दे गुरुश्रीचरणरविन्दम्
संसारदावानलिररूप प्राणाय कारुण्यघनाघनात्यं
संसारदावानललिरलोका तनाय कारुणागनागनात्यं
प्राप्त सकल्यान गुणार्णवस्य वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दम्
प्राप्तस्य काल्यानागुणानभास्य
सद्वर्ण तीर्थान हरिभक्त संहार
चतुर्विदासी भगवत प्रसादा शरणातीतान हरिभक्त संघा
चतुर्विदासी भगवत प्रसाद सद्वर्ण तीर्थान हरिभक्त संहार
चतुर्विदासी भगवत प्रसादा शरणातीतान हरिभक्त संघा
तृप्तैव तृप्तिं भजत सदैव वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दम्
इत्येव कीर्तिं भजत सदैव वन्दे गुरुश्री चरणरविन्दम्
संसारतापानलनिरलोक प्राणाय कारुण्यागमनत्यम् प्राप्तशताल्लनगुणार्णवश्च वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दम् श्रीराधिका माधवय रपार मधुजलीला पुनरूपनाम्ना प्रतीक्षणात्वदनलनुपस्थ वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दम् प्रतीक्षणात्वदनलनुपस्थ वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दम् संसारदावानदलिरलोक प्राणाय कारुण्यागनागनात्यम् प्राप्तसकलनगुणार्णवश्च वन्दे गुरश्री चरणारविन्दम् निकुञ्जजोनारतिजयसिद्धै जगलिविजशीरपेक्षणीया जय राधा माधव पुण्य बिहारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव पुण्य बिहारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव पुण्य बिहारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
गोपी जनवा
गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
गोपी जनवा
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
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 गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
गोपी जन
गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
गोपी जन
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीर बनचारी तीर बनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय
जय जय गोपाल जय जय
गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय
गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय
राधा रमन हरि गोविंद जय जय
राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय
गोविंद जय जय गोपाल 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 जय जय
राधा रमन हरि गोविंद जय जय
रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय
राधा रमन हरि गोविंद जय जय
राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय
गोविंद जय जय गोपाल 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 जय